Mr. Speaker, it's truly a great honor for me to present the House with this bill to name the stretch of Highway I-35 from Forest Lake, Minnesota to Duluth, Minnesota, on behalf of the late former chairman of the Transportation Committee and Infrastructure, James Oberstar. I do so in the spirit of bipartisanship that Jim epitomized on behalf of the entire Minnesota delegation, all of whom have sponsored this legislation. I'll never forget the moment in January 2013 when Jim entered this chamber for the first time as a former member of the Congress. He walked quietly through the side door here, and one by one, his colleagues here in this chamber, Democrats and Republicans alike, noticed him and began to spontaneously applaud Jim Oberstar in welcoming him back to the Congress. I've quite frankly never seen anything quite like it, and this gesture of appreciation for the way Jim Oberstar brought us together through his bipartisan leadership and example was one of the more heartwarming and important experiences that I've seen take place here in this chamber. Jim was an idea guy, and as Tom mentioned, it didn't matter to him if an idea came from a Republican or a Democrat. The only thing that mattered to him was whether or not it was a good idea. And if you had a good idea, if you had an idea, Jim wanted to hear it, and he was ready to work with you to make it happen if he thought it was a good idea. So, but that was particularly true with respect to building and the rebuilding, expanding our interstate highway system that he had worked on, as was pointed out here, as a staff member to that committee earlier in his life, for the sole purpose of connecting every corner of this great nation together from border to border and from sea to sea. Through recessions, through budget deficits, through gas shortages and challenges of every kind, Jim Oberstar never wavered in his support for the interstate highway system because he understood how vital it is to our ability to create good jobs, to literally drive our economy forward and create the atmosphere for successful business and job creation. With that in mind, Mr. Speaker, I ask my colleagues to honor Jim Oberstar by naming the stretch of I-35 that serves as the gateway to the district he so ably represented for 36 years, designated as the James L. Oberstar Memorial Highway. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I reserve the balance of my time, and unless the gentleman has any speakers, I'm prepared to close.